65th District State Rep Republican Joe Canino. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
And welcome to state office.
Thank
How
you.
you loving it so far?
It's a blast. It is a very fun job. You know, you get to go and engage in some very important discussions that impact the residents of not only Torrington, but Connecticut writ large. And, you know, people are struggling right now, whether it's affordability and electric rates, general affordability of groceries, housing.
Right.
You know, they count on their legislators to make policy decisions that impact them positively, and I'm happy to do that.
We're going to touch on some of those things you mentioned as we go through this interview. All the lawmakers get committee assignments. Mm-hmm. Where did they land you as a freshman lawmaker?
So I'm on the internship committee, which is probably due to my age. I'm 27 years old and probably closer in age to the interns than most of the other legislators. That meets once a year, and that's just, you know, guiding the interns around. The policy committees I'm on are energy, public safety, and labor.
Okay. Well, both of those are key to what we're going to be talking about. But you've already had a couple of headlines where you've spoken out on some things. I want to touch on those this morning. Mm-hmm. Lovers Lane, Torrington. There was approval for a solar array. And that's something you're not happy with?
Not in the slightest. And neither are the residents on Lovers Lane and the condos over there that have to deal with this thing when it gets built. Lodestar, this company, comes in and builds a solar array very close to the residents. I believe within 100 feet. This goes before the siting council, these plans.
Right.
And multiple people write in. I write a letter myself. The commissioners on the siting council, during the determination, they have many different concerns over environmental concerns, the closeness to the condos, flooding caused by removing the 12 acres of trees back there, and they still go forward with the plan. And the residents, they feel helpless. You know, appealing is going to be a very, very difficult endeavor. And multiple residents have come up to me and said, Joe, this goes through, I'm going to move.
What is their main objection? Is it the visibility?
The visibility, yes. Also the noise. You know, those solar panels can be very loud. But also, you know, the environmental concerns. When you remove all those trees back there, those retain a lot of water when it rains,
right.
And it's on a steep hill behind the complex. So all that water now will come back and flood. And even one of the commissioners said, you know, I see in these plans there's a bunch of different measures to make sure that there's no runoff that goes into the condo complex. One of the commissioners said, I have a gut feeling that this is going to fail. Approved it anyways.
So are there provisions to make sure there's screening around the site so that it's not visible from the neighbors? Do they have some consideration about things
so
like
I
that?
believe that in the determination, they said that there would be a chain link fence. So
But no plantings have been required.
There are plantings, but trees take a long time to grow. You know, it might be 15, 20 years before they're tall enough to obstruct the view.
The other thing that you've gotten some words out about too include voter election fraud. We got another case here, and this one involved. You know, talk about getting caught red-handed.
I mean, the other side will say that this doesn't happen in Connecticut. Now we have two clear-cut cases, one in Bridgeport, now one in Torrington, where an individual is charged with changing voter registrations from Republican to Democrat or from unaffiliated to Democrat. It's a big concern of mine. It is happening, and the reason that it's happening is because people who want to commit these acts are emboldened by the state's inaction in this realm. Each year, Republicans come to the table with proposals for voter ID laws. You know, just as simple as requiring someone to show ID when they vote. You might think that you need it in Connecticut because every time you go to vote, they ask you for your ID.
In my hometown of Sharon, they absolutely do.
But you don't need it. If you don't have it, then you provide a bill from your house.
Right.
If you don't have a bill, you sign a sworn affidavit, which is basically a pinky swear saying I am who I am. We need robust voter ID laws. We need chain of custody laws, making sure that those ballots, when they go from the election site to where they're being counted, to where they're being stored, that it is safe, that it is secure, and that no one has access to it who shouldn't have access to it.
65th District State Representative Joe Canino, elected this past November, has taken office and he's got a number of things on the plate. Let's talk about electric rates and writ large in that, the high cost of living, because man, this past couple of years have just been eye-popping.
Yeah, we've been getting hammered, and the biggest issue right now, like you said, is the electric rates, where individuals late last year saw their bills skyrocket, and that is due to the public benefits charge that's put on your bill. Mm-hmm. So that public benefits charge, to be completely clear, does not go to Eversource. It goes to the state of Connecticut. It is imposed by the state of Connecticut, and it's made up of about 40 different charges, multiple different things, from energy procurement contracts
Right.
to, some crazy things like tickets to the Beardsley Zoo, subsidizing those, to building electric vehicle infrastructure. It funds a lot of different things. And it is not subject to the regular state budget process every year. It just goes into your bill continually. Nobody looks at it. So what Republicans are proposing is to transfer that public benefits charge to the budget so that every 2 years the programs are analyzed and we can take out some of those useless charges.
Isn't about 3/4 of it, though, the licensure and the work of securing power from Millstone? So that nuclear option, that's a big chunk of it.
It is.
How does that even belong in a public benefits?
So it is a big part of it this year. Normally what happens is the price of energy goes up and down, and the Millstone rate is flat.
Steady.
So when the price of energy dips below that rate, it's a cost to consumers. When the price of energy market rate goes above that rate, it's a credit on their bill. So it generally, in the long run, evens out. I'm not sure why it's in the public benefits charge, but that was a good deal to save the Millstone plant, which provides 33% of our power in this state, and it is all clean energy. It is on all the time, and it's why we need to explore more nuclear, more natural gas, more hydro.
Why can't we, the state of Connecticut, secure long-term contracts at a steady rate for natural gas? Why can't we?
That's a good question. I'd say that's a question for Governor Ned Lamont, who he had the chance to allow a Killingly plant to come here. A natural gas plant, vetoed it. There are companies that are chomping at the bit to come and build more pipelines to provide more supply to Connecticut. They continually get blocked by this administration and by the majority. It is concerning. It is definitely hampering supply. A good thing is that earlier in the session, Governor Lamont indicated that he wants to increase the supply of multiple different types of power and hinted that natural gas would be one of those. So if that's the case, I'm very excited to work with him.
We're already down to the last minute of this interview.
Time flies.
Glad to have this time with you. I want to leave you with just a question about what you're hearing from your constituents. How do you think that you got elected, not having held state office before, unseating a very well-known incumbent who was in the seat? What was the biggest reason you think that your constituents sent you to Hartford?
Well, I worked my tail off. I knocked 6,500 doors in this town, and I went to residents and I met them where they are. And they're very concerned with the direction this state is going in terms of affordability, with the high taxes, with the higher energy rates, with the high everything. And I promised that I would work hard for them to reverse that trend. The majority right now, of which my opponent was a member of, they're now calling to end the fiscal guardrails, which have brought us into the rosy budget pictures that we're seeing right now. That could all go away if we don't have strong Republicans voicing their opposition to removing those guardrails and keeping Connecticut in good budget state.
Joe Canino, we look forward to having you back. Good luck. You got the long session this year in the state legislature, and you guys have a lot of work in front of you.
Thank you very much. We'll talk soon.